Grab my soda. I'm gonna put it right here. Step. And here we go. Oh, here we go. Just give it. I gotta stretch. I'm stiff as a board. Oh. Oh. Where? Oh, there's the circles. Yellow's a good color. There we go. Yeah, I like yellow. How's it going, everybody? We're gonna give everybody a couple minutes before we get started. Thank you for the thumbs up, and hopefully the audio is okay. I got a little Rode wireless mic. We'll see how it goes. Cut a hole in the gi of the shoulder to fit the clip there. That way, while we're gripping and moving, it's like a low traffic area we found. So we'll see how it goes. Hopefully my voice doesn't, like hit the red levels here for everybody. I don't want to blow out anybody's eardrums. Hello, Jolly Poppers. This should be a good class. We're going to be going over positioning and movement so that we can set up our throws and move people in the right way, to increase our ability to score. That's pretty much the topic for today. I'm trying to pick topics for everybody so that you can actually learn and be able to apply these things when you actually get back to the club, because these are more conceptual topics rather than, exactly how to. It's the extra 2 workouts a day, man. I'm thinning out. Hello from Northern Ireland. What's up? It is late for you or early, depending on how you want to look at it. But thank you for stopping by, Darren. Oh, my voice is getting a little raw. All this talking, all these live shows. I'm not used to it. Normally, I'm just a quiet guy that sits in the office. Gotta get a little warmed up here, though. This is gonna take a lot. Oh man. And I hate to say it, but this might be the actual last judo demonstration until Sunday. That includes jiu-jitsu and the fitness class. I'm actually ripping up a lot of the floor, and some guys are gonna come in, and we're gonna put some rubber flooring in, because I'm gonna install a personal gym since we can't train physical judo. I'm gonna buy a gym for all my students so that they can come in and get physically fit, and that way when we can actually grapple, their bodies and their minds will be ready to go for that. But it's gonna take a day or two to put in, so we won't be able to be in here filming and doing stuff. So I apologize, but I promise it's for the greater good. Then, once it's installed and once the weights get delivered like mid-June, we'll be able to do some good exercises and lifts and different kinds of complexes for grappling once that comes in. Stuff that I used to do as an athlete. Sasaki, what's up? I hope I'm saying that right. Super excited for this live stream. I am as well. We're just going to give it a couple minutes to get some people in here. But like I said, in case you missed it, we're going to be going over positioning and movement. Okay? Film the installation and start doing some vlogs. I would, but I'd look like an idiot. I could do some framing and some woodworking and some simple stuff. But man, electrician, plumbing, that kind of stuff. And Doug Williams, what happened to Fuji Fit? Oh, man, that took me so long to build out. I'm glad you liked it, though. So if anybody has any questions as far as movement, hand positioning, how to play defense, how to open people up, how to move people into position for certain throws, right on right, left on right, feel free to throw them in the comments. Hopefully I catch it. Corbin, great question. The only added piece of information I need, is it right on right or left on right? So same side or opposite sides? That'd be the only thing we really got to pay attention to. Right versus right, I love it. Okay, so first question. My preferred grip, right on right, is turn this way. Oh, you're forcing it. Is either right here on the back of the collar where I can use my watch, right? The little nub here on my hand, like the little part. I'm not going full forearm, right? I'm going like little nub, and I'm going to hit him with it. Okay, and that's going to get his head to move. So when I'm in this position, just stand there, just nice and strong. Don't fall back. When I'm standing here, I'm going to hit him. See how he leans over this front leg? Because I'm going to hit him, but my elbow can stay down. And it's just this. That's the little motion that a lot of people don't teach, is right there to get that head to move and curl to start that circle, right? So hand positioning, boom, smack him. That's my favorite grip, right here inside. His head is also the most important part, okay, for me. There's different types of uchimadas, there's different types of things. But I'm a physical guy, like I want to get physical. I want to rough somebody up, and I want to grind their face in. So for me, once I'm here on the gi and I pull him in, I don't want his head past my chest, okay? Because I feel like he can grab my waist and then he can start picking me up. That's not ideal. What's ideal for me is in the pocket, okay? Think about like how you would hold a kettlebell and you would put it in the rack position. I want his head right in my shoulder. So for me, when I'm in this position, see how he naturally wants to pull his head because that's comfortable. I want his head here in the pocket, okay, where his forehead is actually on my shoulder. What's up, William? And I'm here, right? My hand is down. And then my head controls that position, and I can control that sleeve. Now I feel like I'm in a good position, okay? That is like step number one. I fight tooth and nail, right? Whatever it takes to get to there, right? If my partner's head is up and I'm just hanging out here and I'm trying to move him, my number one goal is to move him, bang, so I can get his head down and I can use my head to position his head, right? Positioning here, right versus right, okay? We're able to move, we're able to do everything. Now, it's important that you use every aspect of your body in order to loosen up somewhere else, okay, right? If I need my left hand to be active, I can't be using it to keep him down. If I need my right hand to lift, I can't be using it to keep him down. I want to be able to have that play. One of the ways I get that play in my arms, where my body can be really loose and limber, but my partner is still stuck down, is my head. And what I do is, once I curl him in, I take my cheekbone and I put it right kind of where like a bald spot would be on somebody's head. I just kind of use my head and I curl down with it. I use the strength of my neck. So when he tries to stand up, it's hard for him and my hands don't have to do much. Now I can move the gi jacket and I can be active so that I can move him and then throw. Okay, so step number one, we got to get in the right position, okay, in order to throw from a high-handed grip, controlling the sleeve and hitting that movement. Okay, so that's step number one. Now, we're in a good position, right? I have him down, we're here, and I want to do, what is it? It is Uchimata. Yeah, that's what I thought, Uchimata, okay? There are a couple of different things you could do. One of my favorites is a ratchet. Okay, it's in my Mastering Uchimata DVD. It's a ratchet Uchimata. And what I do is I leave my front foot. Okay, I'm going to get a dot just to show you guys. Okay, my right foot stays right here. Okay, and what I do is I load my partner. Oh, it's stuck on my foot. Okay, so when I'm in this position, what I'm going to do is I'm going to shrug him. Okay, and I'm going to shrug him. That way, see how I can get some motion with my body, but my feet aren't moving. My upper body is working, okay? It's threatening. When I'm in this position, what I'm going to do is I'm going to circle, and I'm going to take a bunch of little steps as I circle with bigger motions from my upper body. There, right? And now look how far behind me he is. Now my foot with one step, boom. You can lift in and you can do Uchimata no problem, right? So it's a little motion, straight in, cut the corner for Uchimata, okay? So we're here, I'm on the dot, little motion. Straight to the top of the triangle, leg sweeps the center, and off we go, okay? That's step number one. Well, that's step number two. Step number one is control the head. Step number two, circle. Step number three, we throw, okay? Yes, Chris, we do can, right versus right. Sasaki, I'm glad you love it. If anybody wants to see it in action, okay, I did it at the Moscow Grand Slam in the final for bronze, where I threw the Russian right on the top of his head because I pumped and I pumped and I pumped, and he loaded onto my hip. Yes, I do take that grip on taller guys. Okay, this is one of my grips when I'm doing judo, right on the back of the neck, because it gives me that whip with the watch and the wrist on the back of the neck. The other one that I take, which is controlling the shoulder here, is right over the top. I go just past. Okay, turn this way. I go just past. So my elbow can never bend, right? Right here. So when I'm pressing and I'm reaching, he feels that. See how I move him when I try to grab the gi? I don't want to be here and then grabbing the gi. It's too far because now he can step in and take my back and then jack me up and throw me on my head. And that's not good. It's actually happened a few times. Okay, so when you throw your hand, you hit him with the forearm, not the elbow, right in the forearm. And then what I do is I curl him. I curl him so that I can grab that gi and I can pull him and I can start working that elbow through. Okay, now look. Ryan's shoulder is behind his head. You see that? See where his face is and see where his head is? That means he's in a left-handed shoulder position. Okay, because a lefty would keep the left shoulder forward, right shoulder back. A righty would keep the right shoulder. So when his stance is right foot forward, left foot back, but I can twist him, it just looks bad, right? So when you throw that hand, here, the idea is to slide. There. And see how I pulled the back leg? Because I move to my left as I pull him in. So when I post and I throw that hand, I'm heavy just above the elbow. I try to grab that gi as I'm curling. And look, I'm pulling him. I'm pulling him in as I do that. Then, once I'm in this position, I can start battling for that head. I can hit those kochis. I can hit all those different types of throws. Aaron, I'm a little confused by that question. Dano, there's no such thing as too fast to be able to grip. I think the biggest problem is people tend to try to look for perfection all the time instead of just attacking, right? If I know my opponent has attacked twice, I'll do anything to just grab the gi and get a good quality shot off, even if I got to make it up. I'm glad you like the details. Here's an angle that not a lot of people realize or pay attention to. And it's one that I always try to teach to the younger kids. And it has to do with a left on right scenario, okay? So we have this line kind of coming right down the center, but I'm just gonna kind of mark it off in the back here, and then I'm gonna bring a circle a little bit closer, and we're gonna kind of just mark it off here in the front so that that line is completely visible, right? And again, we're talking left on right here. So let's go lefty, righty. Yep, lefty, there you go. Perfect, okay? Does everybody see this? This is like a standard left on right position, but if you notice, there's a line that's cutting down the center. And the reason for that line is because when me and him are gripping and we're here, we're teed off to each other. But, stay there. His off balance point is to the back, and to the front. If we grabbed like a 2x4, right, his legs are in a straight line right now, okay? If we turn onto that line, nope, on the line, there you go, and then start gripping, there you go. This would be what it looked like, where you can kind of see that that line is kind of cutting him right down the center, okay? So when we're on this side, step forward, there you go, and we're here, let's say we grip up. Nope, sure. I don't mind being over the top. And let's say we get that sleeve. The problem a lot of people have left on right with the right angles is they attack from here. They think that they can just fit in and the angle's wrong. You got to move your partner into the throw, okay? So stay there. Get in a good athletic stance. Right? Don't move. Don't get pulled. There you go. Don't get pulled. So when you're in this position, you got to move your hip and slide your partner down the line to his forward, right? So if I wanted to do a big throw, I would want to, there, and I pull him down that line so that he's going towards the direction of my throw. A lot of people, when they're in this position, they try to pull them towards them, right? And what happens to a lot of people is, do like a tachi-waza, like go behind. They tend to like reach and then they get stumbled, right? I see it happen all the time. Right? Because that angle is like slightly off. And when you're doing things, it's important to make sure you have that angle. And then once you understand where that off balance point is in that angle, you can do a lot of really cool things. Right on right, left on right, it doesn't matter, because you can change that angle and you can capitalize upon the stumble. Right? So just go ahead and stand here. Yeah, scoot forward though so you can see. Okay, so let's take Ryan. Just stand there like a normal person, like you're just kind of hanging out, right? Ryan, right here, our Uchi, right? His off balance points are backwards, no pressure. His off balance point, forward, like no pressure. You see the stumble, right? Now, for whatever it's worth, okay? Whatever it's worth, right? Just as human beings, okay, now what was the common thread there? Can anybody tell me in chat? Because we've got to educate ourselves here, right? We got to be intelligent judo players. What can we take away that Ryan just did that we can use to our benefit when we're looking to score? Right? Let's do it again, because this is consistent across everybody, okay? You're close with the step back. Yes, his left foot moves, but that is not it. Not quite. You got to dumb it down. Nope. What did Ryan do? Consistent. What did Ryan do? He moves his feet. Yes. But what about him moving the feet is important? Yes, he took a step. He took a step. I get it. Yes, he regained his balance, but how did he do it? He stabled himself, yes, but how? Right? Consistently as human beings, right? Look at this, check this out. He steps back with that foot. Regain your balance. He moves the exact same foot. It's human nature. When you get knocked off balance, you move the same foot that caught you. It's like human nature. If I bump him forward, right, he doesn't retake a step forward to gain that balance, right? If I knock him backwards, he doesn't just go back to re-catch that position. He brings that same foot forward, okay? And that's an important thing to pay attention to when you're looking at, you know, how can I establish a good throw, right? So if he's a lefty and I'm a righty, right? One of the things, like if I make him take a step back, right? What's his next reaction gonna be? If I pull him now, that same foot is the one that moves. Because he's a left-handed judo player, he's not gonna move the other foot. And if you know that, if his 1-2, you are now a step ahead of the game. And you can use that to your advantage. Because Now that you know that that foot's going to move, you can cheat. You can cheat the system. Here we go. And it doesn't matter which foot he moves. It matters that he moved it because he'll move it again, right? So when you go and you go something like this and he moves back, you know that when you pull him, he's going to bring this leg forward. So what it allows you to do is to generate some power. And to do that, I can bring my foot in and I can push, and now I can throw, right? I can cheat the system because I understand how he works inside his own head and his ability to control his own body, right? You would never tell somebody to just put this foot here because this foot can come across because he's left-handed. No, Osoto. There you go. Yeah. And he could bury you. But when he moves off balance, boom, you can catch him. Now look, he's leaning. Now I can score no problem. Yes, Eric, his foot goes back to the original position. That is the point. He doesn't regain position by moving the other foot. He tries to get back to where he already was. Right? You can change that angle, right? If I pull him off base here by making that front leg step, he automatically regains it forward so that you can gain that ground to get all the way across on Euro Soto, right? It's how I won Pan Am Games. Fighting a lefty in the final, the Cuban, right? It was left on right. I pulled hard, and I got that foot to move like 2 inches. Bang, it came forward. And then right when he pulled back in, I pulled myself across into that throw, and my partner, right, Uchi, he excelled my force by pulling back because I charged the position. So it's not just my strength going into it. If I pull Ryan and he pulls back and I run at him, I add force because he's helping me by pulling in. That's why your positioning and your movement is so key. It's so key to everything. You got to understand how this stuff works so that you can cut the right angles. No, it's not about the fact that they step back. It's how they recover from the step. That's what you don't understand. You gotta be able to put it together into different scenarios, right? If I have a partner, right? If I'm paying attention, I have a partner, and I go like this, and he steps back, and then he steps back with the other leg, I can't get to it, right? But if I can step back, and then he steps forward, now look how close I am. A lot of you guys are asking questions, well, how do you get close to your partner? How do you pull your partner off balance? A lot of times, you get them to move themselves off balance, right? Watch this. It's called a hangman's grip. A hangman's grip is what I call it. Because when I'm in this position, stand on the line, right? There you go. Stand up tall, stand up tall, stand up tall, right? Look at my hands. If I flex while I get my partner to step back, look how off balance he is. But my hands never pull, right? Because they're in the right position. What happens to all the beginners, national and a lot of international people, is they charge and they try to get close. But look, I moved instead of keeping him where he was. Step back. There. Now my one-step Uchimata, no problem. No problem. That space is there. Yes, Kenneth. That's the idea. You always look for the opportunity. Not necessarily to charge, but also to pull them off balance. Right? A good one, righty. A good one as a righty, if I'm controlling this sleeve and I'm doing my job, right, and I'm keeping it down, stay right-sided. If I'm in this position is, well, I don't want to slide to my right because that's into the power of my partner, right? If I walk to my right, he can turn and he can throw. But I also I also don't want to bring my foot forward necessarily, because now when he pushes me, I'm off balance. So you have to time your partner's step knowing that he's going to move that foot. So if I can come in and I can move his foot, I can change that stance and I can catch him, right? When I'm in this position, if I can move him there, I can change my stance, right? I can bring that foot inside quickly without the danger. But I'm in danger if I get him to step back and I go like this and he moves that other foot, right? Travis, what is the big thing about this when this is Judo 101? I don't see the big issue here. Dorian, I'm confused by your question. You got to elaborate. I believe I did do Koshi Dano. Right? Here's another example. Here's another example. Right on right, right? How do we move our partner? Guys, let's take a step here just so that we can all understand how this works, because not everybody, nothing is 100% guaranteed, right? Right? So when you're period, like plain and simple, I don't understand your question. All I see is okay, bud, period, plain and simple, or am I wrong? I must have missed it through the comments. But anyways, let's take a look at this. What happens? Let's go back to left on right because it's easy to see here. If I make him take a step back and then his next reaction is to step forward, what throws are possible? Now, it doesn't matter what your answer is. Just think about it. Keep it in your head, right? Because now the question is if I make him take a step back and he steps back with the other leg and pulls me, now what throws are possible? They're two completely different answers, right? Completely different answers. And that's the idea is what you have to understand is your movement and your setups are not for the individual throw, right? You have to learn how to tell a story to gain a reaction that can be repeated from your partners, right? That's why you see high-level judo people all the time. They're always like trying to feint and move because they're trying to figure out what the commonality is within the reaction from their partner, because that's going to determine how you're able to throw your partner, right? And there are certain movements and patterns that you can do. Nope, ready? That you can do when you're in this position to set it up, right? I can come in, boom, boom, and I can hit him. We can do it again. We can go boom. I can change that angle, and I can do it a few times, and I can gain some power, right? I could walk backwards, skip, and throw him with those soto, right? There's a lot of different movements that you can do where if you're walking in a straight line, you can shuffle, and now you can hit him with those soto because you understand how to pull and slide all at the same time. What do you mean by leg attacks? Yes, this can be applied to nogi, but wrestling has different movements because you got to be able to move the head and bypass the shoulders to get to the legs and body. Right? So as we're in this position, let's go back to this lefty scenario. When you're here, if I can get him to step back, nope, straight back, there you go. Perfect. Now, when he recovers, boom, step. What I can do now is I can pull that front leg. There. Now he's off balance, right? I got him to do 3 actions with 1 step. That's what's important. Rather than a a 1, a 2, and then, yeah, see how he slid that back leg? Because he recovered because I didn't get that stutter step, right? One of the things you want to pay attention to when you're doing randori or you're moving your partner around is the slide versus the snap. Like if you can get that, you're golden. And that's the idea. That's what you're looking for. You either want to slide them into position or you want to stay there. You want to try to get them to stumble, right? It's a one or the other. You don't want to throw in a big shot without one or the other. You need to be able to create that movement or the stumble. I don't know what HFF is. And no, I understand the end part of your question there where you say, high grip, do you like Koshi guruma? Okay, let's talk about that, right? Because we're doing positioning. Is it Dorian? Dorian pulver? All I see is like the orange circle. It's hard to see that far. But go ahead and hold my gi, Ryan. You want to think about, hold on one second. Think about it like this, okay? Your legs, the meat of your body is always going to do the brunt of the work, right? If you find yourself using your arms for everything, terrible, terrible. Bad judo, bad judo. You can't flex your arms and think you're going to get close to your partner. I run into a lot of purple belts, brown belts, blue belts, green belts that are like, they're ready to go. They're bigger, they're like 230, 240, they're jacked, they're athletic. And then when we go, right, they're like, and they flex and they're like, I just can't. You can't get close because you're not relaxed, okay? One of the things that's really gonna help you relax is the ability to use your shoulders and your core in order to pull and push, okay? Go ahead and post on the chest like a good righty. There, so he's got a good post on my shoulder, right? But one of the things I can do as an athlete is I can use the meat of my legs and my shoulder. Now look at everything that happens. Come on, feedback there. Look at that stumble. I'm not doing anything, right? But because I'm leaning on him and I give him a little bit of a push, when he pushes back, I can pull. It's one of the ways I break this grip on the collar because when he pushes, I can lean on it, right? There's no weight, which means I can kick him and I can pull him and then I can take it off the gi, no problem, right? Same thing with right on left. When he's in this position, like you want him, right? When he's a lefty, if you want to break down this arm, it's not about how hard you pull, it's about how hard you push, right? Your front leg plays defense, okay? Which means there should be almost no weight in it because you don't want to get foot swept by your partner. So when he's in this position and I'm leaning on him, look at that pressure. There's nothing here. But when he releases this pressure and tries to throw, I catch. And look at the natural squat, like I'm ready. Like I'm already playing my natural defense. Same thing right on right. If he's a righty, nope, yeah. And you're stuck in 50-50 here, right? You don't want this hand up here, right? What you want to do when he's up here is you want to get this hand down here and get your chin on top and your elbow high, right? Keep that grip. Don't let it go. Because now you can push him with your body, not with your arms. I see this all the time from people, right? You see the Japanese do this. They lift their elbow and they shrug the gi. They lift their, keep the grip. Get it up there. Keep the grip. Right? When you're in this position, you see Japanese all the time. They're like this because they're trying to get that hand down onto the body so that, no, flex. There. You can push him. But my hands aren't doing anything, right? Now, while he's here, he has no ability to use his hands because they're stuck and my leg is light, right? It's all that secret stuff. Now, while I'm pressing him and my leg is light to catch the defense, right, I can use my hands to snap him off balance because they're not used to press. Offense with the hands, defense with the body. Offense with the hands, defense with the body. Thank you, the hero, for being a new member. I appreciate that. Hey, is the mic working for everybody? Does it sound better? I hope so. Big whoa, whoa. I'm glad you think it's gold. Right? I'm breaking a sweat. I'm getting excited. We're not doing nerves at competition. We got a judo gi on. We got to do some judo, some movement. Right? We can do the competition thing, you know, out and about. I'm glad you like the workshops. But does that make sense for everybody? Like being able to find those angles and those movements so that you can set your partner up? Great class today. I'm glad you like it. Hopefully this is just getting people not necessarily to learn like, hey, this is step 1, this is step 2, this is step 3, and step 4 is I win. That's not what this class is about. This class is about being able to see the bigger picture so that you can go back to your club and formulate your own plan and fit it to your own judo so that you can start to see the opportunities that arise, right? Because there's no technique out there. There's not one that is going to be like hey, if you do this, you'll throw some people. It doesn't work that way. Because if you can't conceptually see when to pull the trigger, the chances are you're going to miss it. Right? Yes, Tim. I cannot even begin to pronounce your name, and I'd move your comment into the screen if I had a way of like clicking it over from out here. But what he's saying, guys, is their footwork like boxing, right? Because boxing has good movement patterns for grip fighting before punching in, and 100% yes, there is. Okay, and I'll try to explain that to you guys so that you can properly cut the angle so that they can't grab you, but you can grab them. Okay? Go ahead and go righty. This is easiest right on right. Okay, right on right. Let me see here. Put your foot right on the line. Nope, on like the line down the center here so that they have a good like reference point. Okay? So he's dead center. And go ahead and just stick your arm out all the way. Okay? The other one for me. Yeah, and keep that one tucked. Now look, if I just go at Ryan, right, my right foot forward, his right foot forward, and I step in and I try to grab his sleeve, he can get my collar or my sleeve, right? If I put my hand in the same position as his hand and I go like this, nope, sleeve, there we go. We end up in like a 50-50 position, right? But now what you want to do is, again, body and shoulders here, okay? With that hand out, what we're going to do is we're going to ask Ryan to keep his feet where they are, and what he's going to do is just track me. And I'm going to keep my hand here, and what he's going to do is he's going to try to grab my sleeve, okay? No matter where I go. He's just always going to try to grab that sleeve, okay? Because this movement is super key, right? Watch my right foot. I cut the angle. Look it, just out of reach. Now look, boom, no grip. Look at that turn and that angle. Let's change sides. Okay, he sticks that arm all the way out, right? And this is where you get good, right? When you're an athlete and you're a competitor, you understand the bubble, right? Like when you're in danger and when you're not in danger. Like if I go back here, like obviously I'm not in danger of being thrown, but at what point do you actually start to fear his ability to just jump on you and then try to throw you, right? So you got to be able to gauge that distance, and that's what I'm doing here. Is I'm gauging Ryan, right? This just works because I work out with him a lot. And then what I can do is I can get to that point, right? I get to that point where he can't quite reach it. Now I cut the angle. Look at that distance of my feet, right? Look at how far away they are. And then now look how close they are. So I've moved closer, but my hand has not. I've moved closer, but my hand has not. So when I'm in this position, 1, 2, and he's still reaching for it. Go for it. Boom. I have it. He can't reach it. Okay? Same thing with the post on the chest. If he wants to post on the chest, right? Post, I can move out of that way, and I can use my body and also my first grip because I can move him, I can hit him, and I can block it. So you can find that angle right on right. You can find it left on right with a parry. If I asked Ryan to reach out and grab my collar, right, as left on right, he reaches out and grabs it. Nope, grab it, and then boom. Okay, so he gets it, parry. Now look, when he pulls that back, guess what I have in my hand? His gi. The biggest problem a lot of people have left on right is they try to grab it initially. But what if you understood the path in which it was trying to move, right? Boom, he pulls it back. That's 9 times out of 10, that's when I get that sleeve. I almost never reach out. I almost never catch it, right? I move and I shield it, and then when he pulls it back, I chase the grip and I get it. Then I can move my feet back to the center and I can look to score. My move is Marote Seo. How do you think is best to get there? Dorian, right first right, left first right. Is there any way to develop quicker hand speed or patterns? Hey, super chat from Chris. Thank you. How do you use feints to set up throws forward to backwards, backwards to forwards? A lot of it's done with the power of your hands, okay? And again, that like snap that you get in your grip, right? So go ahead and stand nice and firm, right? And so this is hard for people to learn. I have no idea why. I don't know if somebody taught it to me when I was younger and maybe I hit my head and I forgot that I learned it, but I can't figure out why people struggle with this, okay? And when you pull the gi jacket, when people tell you to pull and snap the gi, you hear that all the time in judo, snap the gi. And that gets commonly misunderstood as yank it as hard as I can, right? So what people tend to do is when they say, hey, snap the gi, this is what happens. They snap. But that's not what snap the gi means, okay? Snap the gi means snap the gi. Like, hear that? You snap the gi. You didn't snap your partner's head off. That's not what we said to do. We said snap the gi. So when you want to go forward to backward, your ability to snap hard and react, because when your partner feels you pull, they naturally sit back a little bit. And you can time that into a whip to go the other direction, right? If I'm here and I want to snap that gi, like you can see Ryan's like head starting to move, right? But it's little. But when I want to do it hard, boom, you get some power with the hand. You just bang. And you can time it with your body to be able to snap. Boom, where you use your body to move. Boom, and you can get some power. So when you want to go back, when you want to pull forward to go backwards, right? Boom, you lay them out. You snap and go, snap and go. That lightness to the grip is what gets it, okay? Same thing, if I want to fake backwards but go forwards, it's almost like the inverse is true, which we talked about before, where I act like I'm going back, right? But I leave my hands forward because if I'm here and I hold Ryan, nope, stand square, there you go, okay. Look, if I leave my hands on the line here, pay attention, guys. If I leave my hands here on the line, right, if I leave them, if I fake backwards and then Ryan plays defense by moving backwards, look how off balance is. He almost can't. But what happens to most people is there's a disconnect in the back to front, right? A disconnect where you try to go backwards and then you try to go forward. But the actual relationship, right, the physical relationship between you and your partner was never actually changed. At some point, you were just walking forward, and then you decided to walk backwards with no actual change. Whereas when I hang him, I say, Ryan, walk backwards. Walk backwards. Walk backwards. Just walk backwards. Why do you keep walking forward? Walk backwards. Just walk backwards. Right? He's not sure what to do. Right? And that's what happens subconsciously as a judo player when you don't know where it's coming from. Because now, actually just walk backwards. Nope, don't lean. You walk forward. Just start walking backwards. You're walking forward. Walk backwards. There. See, like to get his feet to go back, he has to lower his head so that when I go like this, there's my pull. It's not just about how physically strong I am. A lot of times it's about how technical I am being. I still got some strength though. I still got some strength, don't get me wrong. But it's important that you use technique to amplify your strength. You don't use your strength because you don't have technique, okay? Dorian, okay, good question because we're dealing with people that aren't necessarily like dealing with weight classes. So you could actually have a heavy dude with a good base. What is your best attack? Now here it is, okay? This is not an attack that is gonna win you like a world championship title. This is an attack that proves to the big guy at the club that he's gotta learn some technique. That's what this is for, okay? Go lefty for me. Okay? Pull from ceiling through the floor, okay? That pull, right now, look at Ryan's shoulder. It's back here, okay? But look at his foot. It's here. Your goal with a big guy is to get that shoulder, from the shoulder to the hip, to the knee, to the foot, to be in the same line, all the way from floor to ceiling. You don't want to see a bend. You want it all the way up, okay? So what I do with the big guys is I steal that lead sleeve and I push it down. So go ahead and fight. Go ahead and fight, Ryan. There. Go ahead. And I pin it down, And all I try to keep going, and all I try to do, but I'll do lefty. You be a righty. Okay, go. Righty. There. So all I try to do is keep this front hand, the hand he needs on the gi down. Keep going. I'm multitasking. I'm good at this, Ryan. Okay? I just try to take this hand and I keep it down. There, now it's down. And I keep it here. Keep going. There, and I keep it here. And I'm stacking my weight on it, okay? So that when I'm down here and I'm like this, he can't necessarily get it up, okay? That's what's gonna allow you to blast him, boom, to the rear. That's what's gonna allow you, turn lefty. That's what's gonna allow you to sticker and put them on the floor, okay? With simple stuff, right? You don't want to lock up two hands with the big guy. You want to make sure that you angle yourself where you're like, hey, I can't do two-handed judo, but neither can you. And I'm going to use my speed and my intelligence to beat you, right? Because a big, strong guy is so used to having the strength that they forget to use their head and actually think and problem solve. Where you, as a smaller guy, I hope that you're using your head and you're thinking and you're problem solving. Tim, the snappy thing, right? You can practice, just pull the gi as hard as you can without your partner moving his feet. Snap the gi hard. Right? Snap it and find that end range where you get your power into the throw, right? You get that power, right? Where you can snap it hard, right? And you can add that power and that fear. You can instill fear into a partner, right? Into your opponent. You can put that fear in them, right? You see the Japanese and the Koreans do it. They're always like, boom. Dropping people left and right because they're nervous. They don't know what to do. They're like, is he going this way? Is he going that way? Is he attacking my feet? Is he throwing me tachi-waza, drop sail? You have no idea. And it's because they understand how to use the jacket, right? The jacket to knock their partner off base. I think I did a YouTube video on that one time. I got to get a soda. Getting excited here. Getting excited. Oh, I'm fat. Okay, Jolly Poppers, great question because you're like, well, what do you do? Like, how do you defend against it? Super simple. Super simple. Right? Ryan grabs my gi. Grab this one. You're righty. And then just shake it about. No. 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 And you weigh it down. Like I got a good amount of strength, right? If Ryan, grab my gi. And then just try to like keep your hand high on the gi. No, let go and keep it high. And now just shake it about. Right? Like I got a lot of strength in this arm there. Right? Where I can weigh it down. And he's like, I don't know what to do. And then you knock him off base, you break the grip, you go back to normal. Right? So it's heavy pressure down. Heavy pressure down. Like here's a good one. Here's a good one for everybody, okay? I don't know what the no comment is. I must have missed it. But here's an important grip for everybody to understand, okay? He posed, right? And this happens to a lot of people because they're like, man, they get the gi first. They get the gi first, and you're like, I can't get to him, guys. I can't get to him. Look, watch this. Watch Ryan move, right? A little bit of a lean, hand on top. I can't get there, right? Now watch. Boom, post. See that step I made him take? You know why I was able to do that? Because I understand the weight, the pressure, and the movement. What I'm doing is I'm taking the gi, hold on. I'm taking the gi from the post, lifting my arm, and I'm sliding that into my armpit, and it's giving me 2 or 3 inches where I can get that post with my left hand, right? So he's posting, I can't get there. Back your shoulder up. There you go. Yeah, I can't get there, right? I push, I go heavy. I can't get there, I can't get there. Now watch, I'm gonna slide, I can't get there. Boom. I can touch his back now, right? Super simple, no power, right? It's all about that angle and that movement, understanding how the jacket works for you, okay? Here's a great one. Here's a great one. You want to piss somebody off, okay? Check this out. Check this out. You're going to love it. You're going to love it, okay? See this little, does everybody see that? That little line right here? It's kind of whited out, but there's a little line right here, okay? I took this one from Iliadis, and I loved it. It was so sneaky, right? And when he did it to me, I was so angry because I didn't catch it until after he told me. And I'm not so sure it was the act of him doing it or the fact that I didn't see it in order to beat it. And it's because people, you get tunnel visioned, right? And you want to make sure you don't fall into that. But here's what he would do, right? Ryan, go ahead and grab my collar. Go back. Go ahead and grab my collar. Go ahead and grab my collar again. You see that? Now watch my hand here, right? Right here. Not this one. Right here. Go ahead and grab my collar. Why can't you grab my collar? See how difficult that is? Because what I'm doing is I grab that bottom part of the gi and I snap it down so it's physically really tight to my chest. It's hard to get your fingers in there. And now, while he will eventually get his fingers in there, my right hand comes into play. Boom. Take it off. Now I have it. Throw it. Hand down the back, quick and easy. Down and dirty, right? In judo, man, just come up, snap it down. See, if you grab up here and defend your collar, it's illegal, right? Because I'm preventing him from grabbing, right? So that's the idiotic way of doing it. That's the way I used to do it, right? I was being dumb. And then Iliadis was like, hey, man, refs don't pay attention. Snap it down to your chest so when he's trying to get that collar, take it off, put your other hand on the gi, throw this one down the back, and then lay him out. Right? I was like, man, where's that been all my life? But yeah, you catch a ton of people with that. Just like a little hand down here, little snap down, peel it, move it past, climb the back, smash somebody. Oh, all the time. Oh, Tim, double lapel grip. Double lapel grip. Super easy. Super easy, okay? Ryan goes double collar. Okay? For me, my left hand, always on top. Okay? That, boom, just hand on top, right? My other hand, right, keep it high on my shoulder so I can't get his neck, okay? Yeah, I can't get his neck. No problem, okay? Look, pressure. Look at Ryan. Pressure. See how my body is twisting? I'm using my jelly, right? The fat muscles in here, the jellies, and I'm turning him. Look at me, let go, stay here, stay here. Look at me pull Ryan, right? Because he's tight, okay? So when he goes double collar, not only am I pushing him, but I'm pulling him, and I'm doing that with my legs and the jellies, okay? The belly here, right? I'm turning him. So when I'm in this position, my hands are relaxed, okay? And then I turn him. Look at that pressure. And then once I do that, I can hit him, and I can bring it over the top. And if I can't, like, let's stiffen that up, and I can't, right? That means he's too high, and you can climb down the back, throw that foot, and then lay him out, right? No, Tai Sabaki, I can't do that. Can't do it. You guys got to buy their instructional for that. That's a trade secret of theirs. You got to pay for that knowledge. I can't give out their knowledge. That's not fair. That's not fair to them. How do you go about circular movements, Sasai, to set up forward throws? Okay. Aaron, same side, opposite sides. Same sides or opposite sides? 3, 2, 1. Guys, you got to pay for the Korean stuff, man. Dude, they spent hours upon hours and a lifetime of work. Opposite sides. Okay. Here's what I like to do opposite sides. To use my Sasai in order to hit my offensive movements, okay? And you're gonna go, but Travis, that's not a Sasai. But it is, okay? Just accept it. It's what I consider Sasai, and it's how I use it. So, partner's inside control, okay? And I'm on top. And the problem that you have left on right is you can't necessarily get to that sleeve, okay? So when we're in this position and I can't keep that yet, don't, it's like act like you're trying to get mine and I can't get yours, right? And you're like this, you're leaning on him, you're fighting, you're trying to get in here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put my foot next to my other foot, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna bump his hand again over the top. See how he stumbled? Because he's using my body as something to lean on. Right? And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass it over my shoulder so that the gi slips past, and I'm going to go get his sleeve. And then what you're going to do is super important. So what I'm going to do from this position is I'm going to lean on him. I can't get his sleeve. I'm going to bring my foot in. Boom. And I hit him with the Sasai, right? I block. Nope, stay there, stay there. Stand up. He's not a lefty, so this is weird. I step in, I block, and I snap together, right? And that allows me to pull myself in to go get that sleeve. And then once I'm in that position, look at his arm broken down, and look how close our upper bodies are, right? So stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up. Boom. Look at that. Look at that distance, right? Boom. All the way through. And now from here, you move your feet, right? 1, 2, and then big turn into the throw, right? It could be Uchimata, it could be Taio, it could be drop Seo, it could be Korean Seo, it could be that Korean Taio I'm not going to tell you about. Because Doug is right. Judo Fanatics, 30% off right now. Go buy it. Actually, I don't even think it's in the store right now. I'm not sure. I don't know where the translations are. Sasaki, I'm glad you like the Mastering Osoto. I like Osoto. A lot of nifty like little movements and patterns, right? Also for everybody in the stream that doesn't know it, Fuji Sports is also 30% off. So go get yourself some good gear. That way you look all fresh when you go back to class. Yes, Aaron. If you got a drop Seo or you want to do Taio or like some footwork stuff, they have some awesome footwork stuff. Even I was learning just watching them film it. Show us a fancy uchimata. My favorite grip as a righty is right here. Okay, and I've done a few videos on this. But what I do is I grab the gi so I can keep it down. Now lift your hand up. Lift it just a little bit, like drop your elbow there. Right? So that I get tension here. And that's what allows me to put the gi in my hand and then grab inside the gi. Right? Because from this side, it looks like I'm cheating. But from this side, right? From this side, no one would know. Right? So I'm cheating. Now I'm going to let go of the gi and I'm going to grab it right. There's no difference. Right? So that's one of my favorite grips. If I cannot get the high hand, what I do is I attack in certain ways that make sure that my partner doesn't prevent it because they're losing, right? So you want to think 2-to-1 at all times, okay? And this goes into that whole movement thing because I move in certain ways where I'm not necessarily going to throw my partner, but the threat is there, which gets them to kind of break down their barriers because you've kind of cracked the foundation a little bit. So let's say my partner's a righty, right? And I go ahead and I get his sleeve grip, but my partner gets the post. So I choose to go 2-on-1 on the wrist. And then while I'm here, he's posted, okay? And he's posted in a way like, get that on my shoulder. Yeah, you just feel like you can't get close to him, but you should be in a good position because you have his sleeve. But you're like, I just can't get there. And eventually that grip slips. Start pulling it. And now you're stuck with no hands on the gi. And that's not what you want. So what I developed for me, because it fit my judo style where I'm reaching and he's pushing and I can't get there, is my movement. I go thumb. Look at my hand curl over the gi here. And my thumb goes inside the gi so that I can snap. And then I can backstep into my osoto and my sode. And now it doesn't matter that I actually throw with it. It 100% doesn't. Because what I use it for is to actually take that grip off, right? Because when I'm in this position, when I snap and I backstep, he'll get out of the throw. Get out. There. And now I have two sleeves. Now I can pull myself in, and now I can get to the position I need in order to score. Gunner, right versus right, uchimata setups with a partner, okay? Here you go. Now, I don't want you to misconstrue what I'm going to do, but one of the important things, right? I talk about this in my Mastering Uchimata DVD, which should be coming out soon, okay? Is your ability to just transfer your feet. I see this all the time from people, right here, right? Just stand there. We're going to do some uchikomis. All the time from people, right here. I'm going to practice uchimata, right? And it's like, but that's like half of the entry, right? Because at what point is the throw? He's not in the air, and your back's not turned, and you're still on 2 feet. Uchimata is done on 1 leg. So just looking for a drill to do with your partner, do this. Turn at an angle. There you go. Go ahead and post. I always like to get in a really nice uchikomi position, right? But what I would do is I would enter and I would lift my leg. And I would practice how quickly my leg can actually transfer, right? I'm not just like here. I'm actually practicing that ability to turn and transfer and that extension and timing to hit the throw, okay? So that would be step 1 for you guys, is to just practice the proper technique and not just half of an uchikomi. The other one that you can do is working on your foot movement and making sure that you can keep tempo, okay? And a good one for that, just go ahead and step right foot forward, is to have your partner nice and relaxed, and then what you're going to do is you're going to move him back, hang him. See how he's on his toes? Hang him. hang them, and then fill that space. And you'll notice that you'll get in and you'll get a lift without any effort because you had the ability to hang him and move him. And now you're multitasking, right? You're not doing this and then trying to pick him up from feet down. What you're working on is your ability to slide into the technique, right? Rather than use your force. Your ability to slide into that technique and keep him up, right? With almost nothing. Okay, so there's two things that you could really work on. You know, just for a starting base, like not a lot of crazy movements, but just to get that feeling of balancing on one leg, finding the balance with your partner, and making it look nice. Jay, thank you for the super chat. I love it. I'm glad you guys like it. I'm glad. I'm glad you guys are finding some value here and I'm not just here sounding like an idiot. Maybe I am. Maybe there's like a memer out there just going to town. And in like a month, the internet's going to explode with memes. Yes, Jolly Poppers, I do. So for me, like normally if I'm standing here and he's just standing here and I practice this step, it's always for Harai, right? Always for Harai. When I do Uchimata, turn this way. There you go. I always stand off to the side like it's a left on right scenario, and I practice Heisman Trophy in it, and then threading that foot and coming through, okay? Heisman Trophy, through. And I get that little pop, that little like, boop, he's up in the air, right? No effort, like almost nothing with the hands. We'll go 2 fingers. 2 fingers, fingers open, right? 2 fingers. And that power in the glute, hands, positioning, sliding into it. That's what you're trying to practice. So here you guys go. Here's what I'm thinking, right? I shot the entire mastering Uchimata. Everything from like how to do Uchikomis walking forward, how to do them walking backwards, how to shuffle and find the timing, right? How to move, right? Different setups. Alternative throws that if you feel like you can't get to Uchimata, right, you'll be able to do these throws that they'll defend, but then it'll open up your Uchimata later. So I did all that. And then I thought to myself, you know what I should do? Is I should actually go back and shoot and add Harai to that entire DVD. That way it's like a mastering like what you do with your leg on one leg, where we go into like the makikomis, and because it's so similar, right? The idea that you have to train Uchimata and then Harai as completely different concepts is mind-blowing to me, right? The only difference, right, to Uchimata and Harai is the actual like add-ons that you get. Because you can't can or Harai like you can in Uchimata. You can't really makikomi a Uchimata, but you can Harai, right? So it's kind of one of those things where I feel like they should blend together. And if you're going to do one, you should be able to do the other one, at least from a fundamental basic standpoint. So I thought about throwing them into the same DVD, but maybe I'm crazy. I cannot read your name, but it looks like you got a devil for a face for like a thumbnail thing there. I actually prefer moving into my judo, right? One of the things I have a problem with when I'm watching people develop is this, right? We'll say combinations, which means move your partner around and then fit into your judo. And this is what I see from everybody. They go like this. They go 1, and they walk in this direction. And then they spin their partner, and then they go off in this direction. And then they go off in this direction. And it's like, all you did was walk forward and backward, right? You didn't actually like think to yourself and train your body in order to move your partner, right? So like, here's a movement that I use for my Seiyo, okay? It's in my Mastering Seiyo course, right? For anybody that has that, you'll recognize this, right? I post, and then what I do is I move and I slide. boom. See, that created a movement. That is something you should train. This is not something you should train. Because now we're just standing in front of each other again, right? You want to be able to cut the angle so that you can come across and score, right? You want to be able to actually like move him and then change angles. You want to be able to throw your body weight across and change angles, not just mindlessly walking around like this. I see it all the time. It's like repertoire, like, and then a change of angle, right? But then we're going to go forward. All you did was walk forward and backwards. Crazy. Dorian, the difference between what I'm doing is look at my body. Look at my body, right? I'm upright. I walk and I move him. You see my body, how it stayed so stationary? I didn't actually train the physical movement. I didn't train the ability to transfer power from one leg through the other. There, see how I'm twisted now? Because what I'm doing is I'm practicing my ability to load, right? Have you ever seen a baseball player, right? When they get ready, they load, right? They load onto that back leg and they hit. Same thing with golf, right? They load. Their weight transfers, okay? A lot of judo players, they don't transfer their weight. I actually practice the ability to, like, see how I'm squatting? I'm transferring. I'm not just turning. I'm changing that angle and I'm loading him up. I'm practicing the downward pull to the upward lift, right? There's a difference. There's a difference between this. Here, look at the separation. Look at the separation. I step up and then I'm here. He moves away and then I enter into the throw. That's different than load him and enter, right? See how he stood up and I stood him up and I filled that space? It's very slight. It's very slight. I get it. It might be hard to see. But when you're in this position, when you step up, I pull him, right? And then I use the power of my legs to stand him up. And because he wants to stand, it amplifies that power. And that's what I'm practicing when I'm moving around doing all my combinations, that load, unload, like all those types of things, rather than just pushing and pulling and walking around. Lazy judo. Lazy man's judo. Oh, Jesus, we're way past the hour. Oops. Dorian, what do you mean, Morote Seo? Koshi what? Koshi guruma? Here's my biggest problem with people that do Koshi guruma. They do the throw with two hands on the gi, which is idiotic, right? I see people like this all the time. I'm going to grab the gi on his back just to let it go and then wrap the head. You had the grip around the back, which is more powerful because you can pick his weight up. Oh, drives me nuts, right? If you're going to practice Koshi guruma, practice like wrist control post Koshi guruma and get some movement and some power and some extension into your throw. Like, I don't want to see any of this, like, that's not how you do it. Super chat. Whoa, $50? Am I reading that right, or is that 50 cents? Oh, man, dude, I'm so happy. Hey, everybody right now in your living room, air high five this guy, Gabriel. Because I actually wanted to talk about this, and I completely got distracted. So, man, air high five. Thank you so much. He says, how do you use the mat to your advantage and throws? I love it. Oh, man. It is one of my, biggest concerns. But we're going to do that. We're going to end the live stream with his question, because this is an awesome question. I love it. I am so happy that he asked it. But I got to grab a tool here for you guys. I got to grab a tool. Let me see here. What do we got here? What do we got? Okay, we got a broom handle. We got a broom handle for a tool, right? Super important, okay? I got a broom handle. I'm gonna beat Ryan with it later. Okay, but look, super important. I want you to think conceptually in your head, okay? Conceptually in your head that everything in front of me is his space, but everything behind me is my space, right? Like there's a line, like a virtual line that's going through. So if the mat, right, if the mat ends where the Fuji logo is and where the Fuji logo is, right, inside our own brains, you can determine who is winning and who is losing, okay? And it's an important thing in just human nature, right? Because whoever owns more ground is winning, okay? So when we're in this position, when you're circling, right? Ryan's a righty, so we're going to do this right on right, okay? I'm a righty, he's a righty. What happens is this. You walk in a circle, keep going, and you're gripping. And that circle doesn't actually change, okay? So what you want to think about is how do I gain more ground, right? They talk about it in MMA, right? Back the guy up to the cage and have your back to the center. Same thing with me. I want the center, right? If we put this little yellow dot in the center, I always want my back to this, okay? And that's just kind of like a general overview, okay? I'm going to talk about reasons why you wouldn't, but just think about this. If me and Ryan are gripping, and we're in here and we're gripping, I want to engage so that when he starts breaking his grip and we're doing stuff, I'm moving him out of the way, okay? And now when we're gripping, his back will be on the edge, which in turn allows you to do a few things. One, it allows you to determine the movement of your partner. Okay, let's see, what do we got here? Here we go. We're going to create, I got my Uchi band here. Ryan, lay that across the top there. No, across the top by the yellow pad. Yeah, nope, all the way back. There you go. Perfect. Okay. So there's one angle, right? Here's another angle on this edge, right? So imagine that this is a corner of a fighting area, okay? And the center is kind of like back here in this corner. This is the center of the map. But we're going to talk about being in the corner, right? So we're working with like an actual space. If Ryan is a right-handed judo player, okay? Ryan does not want to slide to his right, which is into my judo, okay? Because he'll get thrown, which tells you what? Ryan can go in three other directions. He can either back up, he can either come at me, he can charge me, or he can cut the open space. Boom, here we go, mind blown. Thank you for the super chat. I'm glad you guys find this helpful. But hey, follow along here really quick. I don't want to get distracted and go on another rant, okay? Now look, we know of four directions Ryan can go. One is to his right, which leads to a throw. So that's kind of like off the table. Two is right at me where he gets physical. Three is to the back where I can pressure him. And now he has a choice where he either has to come at me, circle out, or circle out, okay? There's very few options. Now, the thing is when you can actually determine the actual direction in which your partner can go, you can see it. And it means you're ahead of the game because you know where he's going to be, right? So if I'm fighting Ryan and we're in this competition area and we're going live, right? We're actually in a competition and we're going for broke. You can do crazy things that don't normally work. So I'm going to set up an Osoto off the grip from a chest post, take his head off and try to throw Ryan. Knowing that he has two options. He can either step out of bounds or he can circle out, okay? Because those are his only true options, right? Because if me and Ryan are gripping, when I post, he's either going to do back out, and I'm going to walk him out of bounds and get a Shido, which is great for me, or he's going to try to defend it, and he's going to try to circle out. And as he does that, without knowing anything, right, without knowing anything, I can backstep, and I can cut the angle and throw Ryan. Okay, check this out. Because when I post, I leave that space open. And then look, bang, I can step into that throw, no problem whatsoever, okay? Because I understood where that mat area is. So, back to my stick analogy, right? Back to my stick analogy, right? When me and Ryan start gripping, my goal is to shuffle and kind of like gauge that, like, get him into that corner where now it's like, where does he go? Is he going to let me just stand here and tee off? Or go ahead. Or am I going to like create that angle there? Boom. Lay him out. Because Ryan didn't actually have a choice. He subconsciously went, well, I don't want to get a Shido. I want to fight. So I'm going to try to go the only way I know how, which is to his left, my right, and I can plan that. And when I leave that little doorway open, he'll take it all the time. All the time. It's insane. Right? So that's how you would kind of use that mat area to your advantage. When you're gripping, right? Go ahead and grip. Go ahead, grip. Oh, yeah. Oh, boom. There. Grip. Oh, yeah. Grip. There. Like, go ahead, grip. There. Look, he's got to go somewhere right there. See? He took the shuffle. He shuffled to his left. Did everybody see that? Because he subconsciously knows, right? When he's in the corner, when he's in that corner and we're gripped up, what I do is I take a little step. And then what does he do? He shuffles. Beautiful. Right into my back step. You lay him out, all because you understood where you are on the mat. It is so important. Know where you are. Know how to use the competition area to set up your throws so that you can smash some people, right? When I work out at the club here at Pedro's Judo Center, which is upstairs, you know, I actually work out on the mat in the corner where it's hardwood around it because it helps me train using the mat area because people don't want to get thrown because they know if they step off, I'm going to throw them on the hardwood. It don't matter to me none. You know, you want to do judo down the stairs, man, we'll go down the stairs. We do it on concrete. I'm not the one that's going to get thrown. You are. Chris, thank you for the super chat. You as well, William. Thank you guys so much for that. Chris, I said I'm considering adding the Harai, like the Mastering Harai and Uchi-mata, together in one. I've actually finished the Uchi-mata DVD, but I kind of told him to hold it back because I want to add on to it. And I shot the Mastering Uchi-mata before the quarantine, so then I never got around to actually filming the Harai yet. Yes, there's a penalty for stepping out. So he'll get a penalty, and if he gets 3 penalties, he loses the fight. So he actually has to circle off that edge, and you want to make sure you either keep his back to the edge or you move a little bit so that he can snake his way out and you can time that shot, okay? But we're going to end the broadcast here with one last little detail, okay, with the edge. Okay, we're going to move the edge in for you guys. Grab that side. Let's bring it in. Let's look at this. Let's drop it right about here. Yeah. Okay, nice. So here's our edge, okay? Now, another great little tactic for you guys, okay, is when you are outclassed, right? Like let's say you show up on the world stage or you show up at your local tournament and there's a national level player there that is ready to take your head off, okay? Here's how you beat them, right? I did this to the Japanese all the time because it's threatening, right? They got good judo, but that doesn't mean you can't be more intelligent, right? And be able to outsmart your opponent. So left on right here, left on right. If your partner who's the opposite side, thank you for the super chat. No, you cannot. $2 will not buy that. $2,000 would not buy that. That would be my integrity. If he earned it and could do it, I would let him. Well, not let him. He would have to like actually earn it. But let's say Ryan's a lefty, okay, and I'm a righty. And the lefty, because lefties usually outclass righties because there's not that many lefties for us to work out with, and they have more righties to work out with. But let's say Ryan's a really good lefty, okay? What I would do in that scenario is as we're gripping, I would drift. I would drift so that when he follows me, no, follow me, you're a lefty, follow me, there. I would get to here. And this is the edge, right? If I step out, it's a Shido. But if he steps out, it's a Shido. Okay, so what I would do is this is where I would start the fight. I would go, like now we're grip fighting, okay? A lot of times, go over here. When I'm fighting a lefty, you'll notice Ryan circled this way. So what I'll do is I'll circle there, and then I'll engage on this side so that this edge is here. Because if I grab the gi and Ryan grabs the gi, I can't scoot a little closer. I can't just step out and try to throw him too many times without getting a Shido. But what we can do is we can stand here, and then if I need to get an attack off, one of the things I can do is I can backstep, can, out of bounds. That's one attack for me, 0 for Ryan. So when we go back to that line and we start circling again, he reaches out for a post, I block it, boom. We get that engagement, we're in here, I'm hand down the back. Maybe the next one I do is I chop him, boom. He's out of bounds. That's 2 attacks for me, 0 for Ryan. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna do it again. Okay, beautiful. Now Ryan gets his grip and we're here, okay? Oop, pop my finger out, but we got it back in. Now we're here. So now the question is, do I do a third attack and get Ryan rung up for a Shido, knowing that if he gets 3, right, he'll lose the fight? Yes, I do. So now what I can do is I can start trying to pressure him, and I'm playing 100% defense. But what I'm doing from this position is I'm pressuring, and I'm trying to cut that angle to get his back to that edge so that he has to step out. And at any time, I'm here and I'm pressuring Ryan. He steps back and tries to slide out. Slide out and away. There you go, come back. Slide out and away. There. Anytime he does that, he's leaving that opportunity. Go ahead. He's leaving that opportunity where I can take that free shot. And then again, 3-0 IJF rules has to be a Shido. So you can use the edge for just about anything, okay? But it'll really help you to like see the possibilities in the movements when you understand where they can and cannot go. And then when you can shut it off, you can leave a door open and then attack once they start going through that doorway. But that's all we got time for today, guys. We are at an hour and a half, which is what was supposed to be like, what, a 45-minute, hour-long talk. Now, like I said before at the very beginning, I'm in the process of ripping up my gym floor, which is here, because I got to put in a fitness studio for all my students since we got to do the whole quarantine thing. So that way people can stay in shape and we can do solo drills on the mat so that everybody can get a good workout. But I'm hoping to go live on Sunday at 1:30, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to have the same topics, same discussion, but we're going to build on it. I kind of want the community to go back, let it sink in, and then come back with some questions on Sunday so that we can do some more advanced movements and some setups. So if you have a specific setup, write it down, text it to yourself, email it to yourself, drop it in the chat so I can take a note of it. Not in this chat, but once the video goes live, put it in the chat because then I can find it. I can't actually go through the chat. But yeah, the next live session, I'm going to do some talks. We're still going to go live at night, but they're going to be more of just us talking and engaging, answering questions. The actual demo portion will be Sunday just because I do got to rip up the floor. So the tatami and stuff won't be here. But hopefully you guys aren't too mad at me that we go into the conversations rather than the judo and jiu-jitsu takedowns and guard passing and all that crazy stuff that we've been getting into. But it should pick up. the week after. So thank you guys so much for showing up. And hopefully the little bitty mic did its trick. I think I almost broke it there at one point. But until next time, guys.